What's up, guys? New injuries. There's two new ones, right? Forgot my sheet. Yeah, Verrett and Greenlaw, they've been out for a little bit. They'll be fine. I don't think they'll play this week, but nothing serious. Just a hip and some foot plantar fasciitis. The new ones, Richie had a knee. Probably going to need some surgery. It'll be like a 6-week injury, something like that. So we just found that out. And I believe that was it.
Hip for Verrett and
Hip for Greenlaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
For Richie James, you say 6 weeks.
That's what. Yeah, just was told coming off. He just got an MRI, and we just found that out.
What about Jalen?
Jalen Hurd. Oh, Jalen. He's had some stinger issues. We left him out of practice the last couple of days, but he was good to go today, even though he walked through. But he should play. Yeah, he should play Sunday.
And what about your plan for starters, guys like Trent and Alex Mack, and on Sunday?
I mean, ideally, just as a whole for starters, I'd like to get close to the first half. I always say the whole half, but I thought we had a real good week of practice, so hopefully we've seen enough, and I can take them out sometime in the second quarter. There's probably a few guys here and there that I might do earlier than that. Yeah, he was out here today, so that was good, even though it was walkthrough. I know he was feeling too hurt to go yesterday, but I think things are looking good for him to play Sunday. I don't mind this game. I plan on putting Jimmy out there with the starters and going, and I plan on mixing Trey in there, kind of like I wanted to last week. We'll see how it plays out, but I definitely want to get Trey some looks with the ones in there.
John said before the game that the plan was a series of Jimmy, 2 of Trey, and then Jimmy coming back in. That was the first time I never heard of that. What's the idea behind that? I mean, is there any part of it that just get Jimmy used to the idea of playing and then not playing for a little bit and then playing again?
No, that's another thing to do from it, but I think the main reason was I wanted to play Trey with the starters, and I didn't want to leave the starters in so long to do that. So I wanted to make sure he got a number in. And if I left Jimmy in for 20 plays, which I thought was going to be a couple drives, I thought that'd be too long than to have them stay 20 plays for Trey. So once he had that on the first drive, I thought we were good. But that was just that game. I don't see it this game, but I'll hopefully get Trey in some there. Once Jimmy's out, we'll probably be done.
How big is the challenge of getting your starters the reps, but still looking at the guys that you need to decide if they're going to make the team?
It's a big challenge, but that's also why practice is, to me, tells us a lot more than some of these games. Games kind of the games tell a ton too, but you get the basis of all your decisions in practice, and you kind of want to confirm it in the game. So there's some situations you need, but it's not like you need that for all 90 guys or 80 or whatever we have left.
Listening to John talk on Cam Yard today, he made it sound like as long as Jalen Hurd is healthy, he's talented enough to make the team. Do you see it like that? Do you need to see him play well, or just is his health more of a factor in terms of making that?
No, I've seen Jalen when he's gone. I know he's one of our top 6 receivers, so that's not an issue. But, that's how it is for, guys like, that's how D Ford was last year. That's how Tart is. We know they're one of our top guys at those positions, but it's such a scary thing and hard decision for the 53. We have other guys there after those guys who are good and who can make this team and really help us. But you got to make sure guys are healthy enough to play through the year, that they don't just get to week 1 and only last a quarter and a half, and then they got another injury, and you're wishing you had a guy there, but he didn't make the 53 because of that. So that's just, there's no right or wrong answer. That's just the challenge of it, and you try to get as much information as you can, which is, usually if they can make it through a whole camp, they can make it through the season. But obviously they weren't in a situation where they could do that. So that's the dilemma with going into camp hurt, and that's the stress of it for everybody, coaches, players, the 53-man roster. But that's just part of it.
Do you think you'll miss the 4th preseason game? I know that's a weird thing to say, but just in terms of being able to evaluate maybe the back end roster.
Yeah, I was probably as happy as anybody on the planet when they canceled the 4th game, because it's not one I ever enjoyed at all. But now that we don't have it, yeah, there's a couple things. Like, you'd like to see a couple guys that maybe you weren't thinking about on practice squad, but they get to play for 4 quarters, and they show something in 4 quarters that, let's keep that guy, and you maybe change 1 or 2 decisions. So a little of that I'll miss, but I'm not trading it in to have to go through that game, because even though you want to play guys in that 4th game that weren't going to be on your team, there's still a lot of guys playing in that game who have to play, and I've lost too many guys that game just trying to get through it.
Have you seen enough of Simba Webster to have him back there as your return specialist, or Benjamin, now that Richie's out of the picture for 6 weeks? Or spot you may just keep open and see what's...
Yeah, I mean, I think with us, I think it's really hard to make a team as the returner. I mean, you have to be one of those six returners, and if you're close to one of those guys, the fifth or sixth guy, usually it's got to be the fifth guy because you only get 5 guys up on game day. If you're close to that guy and you have return skills, or you're a gunner and you bring something else to the table, then you can pass a guy who might be a little bit ahead of you as a wideout. But if you're not close to being able to contribute as a wideout, it's really tough to make it as a returner. And I think both of those guys, Travis and Simba, have done some really good things for us winning in and out receiver, and we know they have some experience in their career as returners too. So, but it's tough if you have a guy who's only on there for special teams, and you have one guy go down in the game. Now you're deciding whether to put a special teams guy out there or play with the tight end.
You've talked about wanting to use Trey potentially like the Saints use Taysom Hill. You've been concerned about him being a rookie and not getting him sort of in a rhythm, and just having those sort of disjointed reps as opposed to back-to-back reps.
Yeah, you have concerns about everything, but that's why we're working through everything, trying to figure everything out, seeing what they're good at, what they can help us with in the team, how to balance stuff out, and that's why we're practicing everything. Never been in a situation where I had a skill set where I had 2 guys like that you could practice it, and that's what we're finding out.
Say 3 more guys. How did Michael Pruitt do after he got back from the injury?
I think he's done a great job. I mean, it's real unfortunate for him how I think it was his calf. But doing that in the first couple days, maybe the first day of practice, because we know he's been a good player. He's had some success in this league, and he's been behind the 8 ball with that injury. So late getting back into it, and whenever you do that, it takes a little bit of time to get your football legs back, which I know he's been battling, but I've been really impressed with him here in these 10 days or so since he's come back.
How does potentially playing 2 quarterbacks impact your potential decision to keep a third?
Not much. I mean, you only got 2 up on game day. So, I mean, it doesn't affect it.
Without that 4th preseason game, how satisfied have you been with the dress rehearsal week leading up to the regular season?
It's been good. I mean, it's not it's less for me. It's more for the players and just for everyone to see the routine. I mean, even guys who have been here, you get in a routine and you forget. So you're up at some different times, you're in some different places at times. Your lift and when you eat, it's a little bit different each day. So I think it's good for the players just to go through it, and so they're not wondering where the hell they are in week 1.
What's Wayne Gallman brought to the team beyond just the running ability? Has there been some veteran dependability there too?
Yeah, I think Wayne's been, I've always been a fan of Wayne's, and I think he's gotten better, a lot better since he's been here too. How he's done his blitz pickups, how hard he's been running, the difference in him in the preseason 1 and preseason 2 I thought was huge. Not that anything was bad with the 1, but I thought he took a big step forward, and hopefully he'll take a big step forward this week too.
Even though it's just a preseason game and they have moved to Vegas, is there still that excitement of playing the Raiders?
I always like when our fans are pumped up about stuff, so that makes it cooler. It's still a preseason game to me, so I'm not going to sit there and get too excited about it, and I don't get too caught up in those rivalries, but I think it's always more fun when the fans are more into it.
Just with Richie, when did he get hurt?
It started bothering him yesterday in practice, so we shut him down halfway through practice, and I think he got the MRI this morning. Started with an M, so, and I know 6 weeks. They said around 6 weeks, so I'm guessing, but I don't want to mess that up. So, do you know? Did they say that? All right. Knee. Yeah, knee. But I don't like saying that because everyone assumes ACL and stuff. I know it's not that one.
Did you mention votes in for what their plan is for Sunday?
Yeah, D won't play. I'm going to talk to Nick today or tomorrow, probably at the hotel. Odds are he probably won't, but I haven't decided for sure yet. Good? All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks for the update, Coach. All right.
Trey, how are you feeling?
I feel good. Yeah. I feel feel good.
Were you concerned at all?
Nah. It was more of a maintenance deal. I didn't like sustain any injury in practice. I know how it came out that day, but that didn't even have nothing to do with what I was. I actually had already had that thing planned before practice. So
Just kind of wear and tear.
yeah. It's just I'm old.
What are your impressions of the young guy Jalen Moore, how he handled all the reps that he took this last week?
Oh, I think he did very well. I think Jalen has every day has got better. Every day he's added to his toolbox. He listens. He's very coachable. He's just a humble guy. I think he's going to be an outstanding football player if he keep going in the direction he's headed in now.
How does the possible quarterback platoon rotation affect you and other linemen, knowing that all of a sudden Trey might be in the huddle and you might be talking different?
Nah, I mean the only thing different is they call it zone read or whatever. But I mean you just do what the play is called in the huddle. It ain't like you got to block it different because somebody else is back there. I mean, and when it comes to the passing game, I don't really think, okay, just trade back there, let me block it a certain way. We kind of do our thing and then they do their thing. So.
What happened on that play yesterday where you got out there a little too quick and the ball caught you?
I ain't gonna throw nobody under the bus. We just had a mishap, so I hate y'all had to catch that. That was definitely a blooper.
They underestimate your speed to be able to get out there?
Nah, it wasn't that. I think we had some depth issues from the screener, so that's why it should be a play that gets thrown behind the line, so it'll make it legal for me to come upfield. So.
How was Nick yesterday or the last couple of days?
Oh, Nick has been outstanding. I don't even know how he could have got stronger, but he did. Very few people come back from a major injury and are better than they was when they left. And I played Nick before he left, and I played him when he got back, and he's better. So it's definitely good news for the faithful.
In what ways is he better other than just being strong?
Nick is a very sharp guy. It's all between his ears. He was just blessed with the ability and having the body to do so, but it's all between his ears. So. He definitely got stronger. You can definitely feel his play strength. You can feel that off the bat. But honestly, I think he's just such a smart guy and just staying around the game and staying steady the game. He don't, I think his mind always kind of stays sharp, and you can see, I feel like he came back with a recipe of moves just for me. So, I know he's been mentally going through it. So it's definitely exciting though to get a player like that to come back and for him to go through what he went through and to still be a better player than he was before. I think that's outstanding.
How much does it help you having someone like him when you only have 3 preseason games to get ready? It's a little bit different, but to get ready for the season.
Oh yeah, he definitely fast tracks the development. He knocks the rust off really quick because you just got to be on your toes with him at all times. Every single play is literally not a playoff. He finds a way to be effective on plays that he's not even supposed to be near the ball. So I think it helps me because it makes me focus in. It keeps me sharp. It just makes me hone in on the little things that you can take for granted when you get deep off in the camp like this.
As a unit, as an offense, you guys feel like 3 preseason games enough to get you guys sharp and ready for game 1?
Well, we don't really. The preseason games are the games, is what they are, but we get most of our work done out here on the practice field, as y'all see. So I don't think any starter will get as many reps as they do in practice in the preseason. So I think all our work is done out here on these practice fields, and I think it's coming together. I like where we're at. Obviously, we got to put it together on Sunday to make it, something that's real, but I like where we're at this point.
Couple more?
With Nick yesterday, I think there was one rep where he had a good bull rush on you, and I think you outweigh him by 50 pounds or so. If you're explaining to a layman, what's the key for a defensive end to build all that leverage to have an effective bull rush, just like being a smaller person?
The natural progression, we go backwards, they go forward, so it automatically gives you a little momentum. But, with Nick, you got to worry about so much. The bull is kind of the last thing on your mind because, like you said, I outweigh him by, I don't know how many pounds, but a lot. So, I'd rather take getting ran over to the quarterback than getting beat clean, and then Lord knows what he can do to a quarterback if he got a free run at him. So, I mean, with Nick, that just makes him so special is that you got so many things to worry about, and hey, you got the power as well. So, I mean, when you're a lineman, you gotta you can't take away everything from a great pass rusher. You kind of gotta, you know, live and die with some things. But I mean, to answer your question, I think that was maybe a one-on-one rep, and yeah, he just stopped this initial move. He turned it into a power. I was definitely wasn't expecting the power. So yeah, like I said, he's came back stronger. He's came back better. I mean, I'm excited for everybody to see him on Sunday. Well, not this Sunday, obviously, but in Detroit.
George describes both Bosa brothers as like water flowing downhill, as to describe the ease of movement. Are there any other defensive linemen you've gone up against that are that fluid, that kind of can change between things that easily?
I mean, I'm going against some pretty good rushers. I mean that. Yeah, so I mean, there are guys who can move very fluid, but it's very few that have it all like he has. There's very few that can move that fluid, can also move you off the spot with strength, and can also run by you or can also finesse you with an inside move. So I think that's what makes his so special. But yeah, him and his brother. I mean, you see, they top talents in the league. So I mean, that's no surprise there. So yeah, they're very fluid. It's like like Kyle said all the time, like they were born to pass rush.
Last one.
What's your relationship like with the D linemen? Like after those one-on-one drills, I see you going over there and shaking hands and slapping five. I mean, usually it's offensive linemen stick with their group and defensive linemen, and the two don't meet. But you seem to do some mingling.
No, I mean, I'm one of those guys that just try to create synergy, man, bring people together. I mean, even though you might not see us talk as much on the field, but in the locker rooms, we're blended. So, I mean, for me, during one-on-ones, there's a time for us to focus on different type of things. I mean, they know it's pass, we know it's pass. There's not really any deception there. So we got to work on techniques and things where we want to take to the game. There's no better chance in working it than in one-on-one. So most of the times when we're talking and high-fiving, we're kind of just going over moves. I'm asking them what they see. They're asking me, what I've seen out of them. We're just trying to find ways to get better.
Thanks, Trev.
Already.
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing? I'm doing great, man. Can't complain. Sweating. Feels great out here. California music in the background, the usual.
What do you see from your buddy across the how he's coming back?
Seems like he didn't have surgery. Playing awesome, great communication. Feel like he hasn't lost a step.
What's impressed you about Talanoa last week?
He has a knack for the football. Like wherever, if you can find the football, you can find Huff he's going to be somewhere around it.
Over his eyes.
Huff.
His eyes, it seems like he sees the ball, especially in the run game, really well.
I feel like he has a 20/20 vision. So I don't know. Like I said, man, he's a football player, so he's always around the ball. So I assume he has some great eyes.
He wasn't a guy that like tested particularly well, I think, leading up to the draft. How does he make up for that? Like the physical limitations.
You know, something's really like I feel like he has. I don't know what he ran in the 40 time, but on the field he looks like he's running a 4.3. Some guys are just football players, and some guys never somebody never taught them how to run track when they was young. They just know how to run and chase after somebody if they got the ball in their hand. Oh, that was easy today. Y'all ain't want to talk to me today.